Man, there's nothing like being able to buy people something, man. Ain't nothing like the feeling of having money, right? Being broke is like the worst feeling. But when you have money and you can help somebody out, and you're able to buy somebody something, whether it's like some food, something to drink, like anything, man. It's such a good feeling. Man, it's crazy because I don't understand how people like have millions, billions of dollars stored away. It's not even real money. It's current. The currency isn't even like what is it? It's like it's not. It's not even backed by anything. And it's like people just have so many numbers in their bank account just sitting there, not doing nothing with it. And it's like, it's crazy. Like they could do so much with it, make some like, but it means more when you ain't got a lot, right? And you could help somebody out. It's the best feeling in the world. Just like, man, someone that's really going through it and having the worst life, right? Having the worst day, the worst week, whatever on the streets. Just be able to help them out, man. It's crazy. It's crazy because there's so much potential, right? There's so much potential, and it can feel overwhelming because it's like, man, what can I do? What can I really, really do to help people in this world? Like, there's so many abandoned buildings. There's so many places that could be good homeless shelters. There's so much money that can go into good shelters. Like, I always think about like if in Colorado alone, or sports teams, or whatever, the Rapids, the Mammoth, like the Avalanche, the Nuggets, the Broncos, all of them. How many millions of dollars go into that? And if they would come together and build one, two, three facilities, man, it could have the best staff, the best security, the best showers, the sanitized every day, just completely clean, right? Like homeless shelters are terrible, terrible condition and terrible like everything. But I mean, at least it's a shelter. But like, you could have a really good facility, good centers, man. If people's hearts are in the right place, Not to mention billionaires that got like 40 rooms in their house or whatever. But I mean, it's not even just billionaires, right? There's millionaire, whatever people that have 3 or 4 vacation homes that just never get used, right? They might visit it for 2 weeks a year. And it's just crazy how many vacant homes there are that could go to be rehab centers. Um, like just places like I like to be able to have a place where people can go take a shower and get clean clothes, right? Most of the world doesn't really know what it's like to have to be homeless or be without a house or be without food. Like they would have a whole different attitude. People would be more grateful for one or whatever. But it's like, man, when I was on the streets, whatever, if somebody would just buy me a pair of shoes or buy me something or even just talk to me, man. And it's like, people feel entitled to not have to do that stuff, but man, we should have a heart to do that because you don't know how much that can change someone's life around just to just talk to somebody. Like I remember I'd be just wandering and wandering and wandering and like what do I do in my life? Just like lost, like no direction, no heart. Like just for someone to be like, man, God loves you, or hey, you're loved, whatever. Like a dollar drink at the gas station sometimes it's just like it's the biggest deal. But I mean, like shoes are like 25 bucks at Ross, man. Like to buy somebody a pair of shoes or like a clean shirt, like some clean socks or something. It's the best feeling. Like man, it's like there's a void. There's a lot missing, right? I don't know. I don't know what to say because if I wish people knew how good it felt to give, right? But like I always be thinking like, what can really be done to help people, man? Like a real like a center, a hope center that is like really trying to inspire people to have a life, a future, a hope, dreams, to chase their dreams and to want sobriety, to hear the word in a good way that's not religious and like just trying to change who you are. I don't know. It never like ceases to amaze me how wealthy this country apparently is, and how many just unnecessary things people have. Like, you know, you got one people, two people like with 4, 5, 6 cars and stuff, and like multiple houses, and it's insane, man. It's insane. And I really wish to see some things change, man, and for people's hearts to really. But like I said earlier, it's like when it hurts, right? When you don't have it all and you still can give, it really means something, right? It's crazy because I feel like there's such a need in the whole world. It really can be overwhelming because it's like, what can one person really, really do? Like, I want to go everywhere, man. Peru, Mexico. I want to go all the places. And, man, it's just Colorado. Like, there's places like California, Philadelphia, and stuff that's doing so bad, right? And the drug and alcohol, fentanyl, it's a crisis, man. It's an epidemic. It's unreal, fentanyl, meth, and all that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, God, I wish I could help people, man. But it takes so much to get people on the right track and to stay on the right track. And a lot of people just don't really want the change, want the growth. You know, I used to see that all the time at the rehab. So many people just like taking advantage of the system, trying to get by, trying to get the next, you know, whatever, just trying to score something else. And it's like, man, for the people that really want it, to really have some opportunities, like it's crazy. I pass by empty buildings all the time, and you know they're just gonna get torn down and be some rich, you know, $5,000 complexes and apartments for rich. It's like how we still got so much money for people to keep building up, building up, building up, like high rises and like you know, it's like man, when's enough? Like just can we see some of that go back to the community in some way? Like dear God, like you know, there's a lot of cool Victorian, like old school, old style homes, and it's like you know they're owned by the city or whoever, whatever, and it's just waiting for the right buyers to come buy it out. You know, have enough money, tear it down, build something. It's like man, I don't know. It hurts me. It kills me. It kills me that we have so much potential and so much wealth that is just misused, man. I wish to see that. But I just be talking. I just be saying that. Like, don't be scared to give. Don't be scared to, you know, make somebody's day and to not be selfish. Like, it's so easy to get selfish. I be selfish all the time. Every day we always selfish. Like, I deal with selfishness all the time so much, and it's just like, man. I'm just saying, man. I think we can do better as a people, and I feel bad. Sometimes I feel like a hater, you know, especially when it comes to sports, and I am a little bit. And I ain't definitely ain't trying to throw shade, but it's like, man, I wish we would stop tithing into sports. Why are we still tithing? Why is everybody still tithing into sports so much? Like, what are those millionaires really doing for anybody or doing for anything? Like, all that money, man. I'm just saying, like, if people were paying that, like, buy art instead. Buy art. I don't know. You know, I really wish people's hearts would turn, wake up, and like turn, like unplug from the sports and stuff. And I know everyone's got their thing, whatever, but it's like they don't need millions, man. And what are they really doing? It's just like Walmart too. Like, what has Walmart done? Like, why do we have real life monopolies still? Like, worse than before. Like, I don't know about like where y'all at, but here it's like every shopping center's got so many empty stores, so many empty facilities, like you know, old Hobby Lobbies or Safeways and Kmart's and just storefronts and all these. I'm like, man, all these are just empty and they just want so much money for them. And it's like, man, just give people a break. Let someone open a business of their own or something for cheaper. Like, why has everything got to be so expensive, man? It doesn't have to be. These numbers ain't even real. Banks don't even have this money like that we think we got saved up. Like if everyone took all their money, yeah, like the banks would just collapse. They couldn't give you the money. There is no real money there. They could print it out or whatever and say, but it's like literally, man, the money is not real. They're stacking up, stacking up, stacking up for what? It's imaginary. It's like, bro, like, isn't anybody else frustrated? Like, can I get an amen on this? It's like for real, for real. I don't understand it. It's just they're not real numbers. They're not real zeros. It's like give it away. Like do something. Isn't there tax breaks and stuff for like charities and stuff? Isn't there something that the money can go to where it's like, all right, you can. I'm not saying just give all your money away. Nobody should do that, but there should be a portion that all of us are giving, all of us are saving, right? Like I think it's like 10, 10, 80 or something. Like live off 80, tithe 10, you know, give 10, save 10, whatever. Maybe it's 70. I don't know. But for real, it's like, man, all these empty stores, all these empty old buildings and stuff everywhere, man. I go to shopping centers and it's like two or three of them have people and like 90% of it's vacant. I'm like, bro, these could be rehab centers. These could be, you know, places where people can get food. They can be something, man, like tax free, like whatever. Like, what can the city do to come together and be like, all right, man, we got all these empty houses and all these homeless people. We got all these empty stores and like, dang, we could use some rehab centers, right? Like for real, like why isn't it, how is this still an issue in 2023? Like what is like Walmart doing with all that money, right? As Walmart as a corporation, whatever, an example. What are these corporations, endless amounts of them, doing with all? I'm just saying, man, like how are we supposed to be more advanced than we ever were, but we're doing so much worse. Like our buildings look worse, right? They're just concrete boxes. Like like the food is less nutritious than it's ever been, right? There's less nutrients. It's more fake, not even to mention GMOs and stuff. Like, we still in a time and a place where there's so many homeless. There's so many so much of drug addiction. So how do we say that we're more advanced than we've ever been? And how do we say we as a country is so wealthy and stuff. And when there's so much like, it's just not, I want to say misproportionate or whatever, but it's insane, bro. It is insane. And it's like, I feel bad about always talking down on like sports teams and stuff, but it's the same with music. Like I'll go see a concert and pay whatever, and but man, it's like, how? I'm always like just talking about Jesus, man, because Jesus Christ is the truth, 100%, and just to have the Spirit of Christ and everybody seeking Christ as much as possible. But it's hard because like there's reasons I didn't want to go to church and don't want to go to church, and it's hard to be committed to a church. Whatever, you a faithful servant, you're there 3-4 days a week, a year and a half. You're paying all your tithes. You're working endlessly. Anything that they ask you to do, you're doing, and then they don't even write you back. And it's like what the heck, So there is that aspect too. I'm always telling people, on the streets, whatever, that are stuck in drug addiction or whatever, and I'm like, man, come to church, come to church. I mean, it's like, really, I know why they say no. It's because I barely want to go. I've been 6 years sober, and I'm still like, I don't want to go. And some of the things you see and experience at church, and it's like, man, but it is the next step, right? It's the next option, and we got to do better than the last. And it's like, really, can I do better? Could I do better if I had my own church or my own facility? And it's like, that's commitment. It always trips me out because we got churches freaking everywhere. It makes me mad sometimes. Like, you go down within like 2 blocks, I see like 3-4 churches, big churches, huge churches, facilities. And then you go inside and there's like 10 people on the site. For one, they're like taking jabs at you left and right, throwing stones and stuff or whatever. But then it's like, really, you don't even live a different denomination. It's like, oh, you guys both believe in Jesus, but they're talking down on each other. And it's like, that's just one aspect of it, not to mention like the tithing and just a divided heart. Like, we got to pray, God, please give me an undivided heart. May I be a true servant. I want to be a true servant of God. For real. Like, I want to help people every day. I want to live my life to bring people closer to Christ and to help put, food on people's tables, whatever, food for people, and to lead people closer to the strength of God that God gives us to get sober, right? Where it's like, man, you can only do so much. It's like, man, God, give me a facility. Let me see what I can try to do with it. I don't know. All I'm saying is I love y'all and God bless, and I do believe people are good, and we all are trying, right, to the best of our own consciousness and the best of our own understanding. And may God give us all undivided hearts and a heart to help and a heart to save. And it's like, everybody needs some help. Like, I need help. Like, but it's like, at the same time, there is something that I can give, right? There's something that I can give. I can give time and a cheerful word or just some encouragement at least. And it's like, at the same time, man, I need help at the same time. So it's just like, God bless y'all, man.